All right. Thanks a lot for coming on the show, Cameron. Pretty excited to talk to you today. Your album comes out tomorrow, right?
It does. Yeah, it does.
So how does that feel?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's been years in the making, and just very blessed to be able to have it released. And yeah, it's hopefully this is the start of something crazy. I hear some people talking in that way. They think it's going to be, yeah, we have the potential to do great things. So I hope this album can be the start of that.
That's awesome. Yeah, and it sounds like with Century Media, you must have a pretty solid team who believes in you, eh?
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of people who don't know who we are and see that we're on Century Media will think that we're a metal band. But the whole point of signing to Century was to be the opposite of that and be the band that, you know, branches out the label a little bit. And I actually think that the fact that Century have allowed us to do that is actually one of the most metal things to do. Metal in quotes, because it's like metal's all about being different and going against the grain, and, you know, writing music that normal people wouldn't really understand. So what we've done, signed essentially that, okay, we're writing music that is a little more palatable, but it's also we haven't made it to be palatable, we just made it because we enjoy it. So I think, yeah, that the team there at Century are amazing, and I think they're learning with us because we're a little bit different to a lot of the acts they have on there. But I think from now to, you know, whenever we do a next album, an album after that, an album after that, we'll be able to create a new space for Century to really be in with ourselves. And yeah, it's going to be really cool. Okay, cool. Has that kind of always been important to you to kind of like blend genres and push the boundaries and kind of make people like a little uncomfortable maybe? Yeah. So I never want the listener to feel like they're listening to something they can listen to, like if they just go on shuffle and they can just listen to the same thing from another band. I never want to be that way. And especially in the world we live today, where I feel like genres are becoming a thing that people really want to stick to because it's easier to market. What I want to do is the complete opposite of that, which is be a band that is doing something for the right reasons, and not trying to fit TikTok or fit any of this. With to live in a different way. I've actually been trying to grow on these social media platforms more, but do that in a different way as well, without compromising the music. Because it's very easy to, you know, on TikTok and be like, oh, we are this type of band, so that it reaches people because people want to have something easy. But I'm figuring out a way with that. But in general, I just want Love Is Noise to be whatever I want to write at that moment in time. So I could be, you know, you could get a country song. I don't know. I could be listening to, you know, the new Post Malone record and think, oh, I want to jump into that. Or it could be, hey, I'm listening to, let me think. I'm listening to, say, I'm trying to think. I could listen to a black metal band, or I'm listening to something around those, like I'm listening to Death Heaven, so I want to put some blast beats in. You know, those are it depends on what I'm listening to at the time. Every album is a diary entry, as Rick Rubin said, and I always want it to be that way because it's fun that way. Okay. Yeah, you mentioned blast beats. There's a couple moments in the song. I don't want to give too much away, of course, but a couple moments in the record, because the record feels like a ride. You know, you should listen to it start to finish. Where kind of all of a sudden kind of morphs into these blast beats that really you just hit you perfectly, coming out of the kind of shoegazy vibes. Yeah. So Death Heaven are really good at that, having those shoegaze elements with the blast beats, and we're heavily influenced by them. And yeah, I just love a good blast beat. It's sick in every way, shape, or form. And we wanted to do a bit differently, where it's like blast beats with dreamy guitars, which I don't know if that's happened before. Maybe it has, maybe it hasn't, but yeah, that's something we really enjoy. And I've actually recorded 2 new songs after this, and have they have blast beats in as well. Okay, that's exciting. You mentioned too kind of how the albums are like a diary entry, and one of the things that caught my attention right away was actually the end of the record, the way it kind of ends with, like, it sounds like you're going through like a positive affirmation or like a personal affirmation. Yeah. So with Ascending, the chorus vocals are "I feel death liberating a race against the earth," and that lyric is based upon, you know, life is finite and we could die at any moment, so you got to enjoy it whilst it's here. And I really, that's something I kind of looked at for a long time when we're writing the record, and just appreciating every moment as much as I can. I'm not great at it, but I'm trying my best to do that. Trying my best to appreciate what we have and what is, and not really looking at what's to come, but just enjoying it and each day as it comes. And that's kind of how I want to live. And that's how I want to live in terms of the music world. Is I don't want to really think about what life is going to be like in 10 years. I just want to think about what the next thing that I can see is going to be. So I can see an album 2, but I don't want to think about album 4, because I want to give album 2 the best possible attention. And the best. I just want to give it all the attention, instead of thinking, oh, if we write like this, is going to mess us up in 4 years or 10 years. I don't think about that. I just think about what I can do right now with how I'm feeling and create the best music possible.
Is that difficult to balance with the whole social media and self-promotion aspect? Is there any struggle there?
So for me, there's actually no struggle, because we just do whatever we want to do. The struggle is not with artists. The struggle is with the platforms. So the platforms are made to create money, and the platforms have algorithms that push. To be honest, everyone says they know what the algorithm wants. They don't. They don't really. So nobody really speaks about the fact that money is a very big part of how these viral artists get viral. Like, getting viral doesn't really exist anymore like it did in the YouTube days, where a video could just hit and so many people would see it like that. That's not how it works now. From what I've noticed, it's, for example, all the artists that get the major label artists that get viral with a song, you actually look, the streams on Spotify, a lot of them are coming from bots, and then a lot of the how people see this song is from either paying influencers to, you know, dance to it, or put a load of money into ads. So there are moments where random people from nothing get big. There is a pot that does happen, but a lot of what you see in terms of becoming viral is not, it's a man-made thing. And if I was to pride myself on my art becoming viral, I'd be a part of the machine, and I don't want to be a part of the machine. I want to be an artist that is real for me. I'll dip my toes into the machine, so I'll use the platforms, because it'd be silly not to, because you won't have the ability to grow in a quicker amount of time. But my art will never be made to fit with an algorithm, mainly because it's all a lie. Like, the algorithm, it's set up for people that have money, that pump that money into it. And all these people saying, oh, this is how you do the algorithm. Like, I'm posting on TikTok and I'm getting the same views every single day. And I reckon if I was to put some money into it, my views would go up. Like, and we're fishing for gold, you know, when it's like a casino, right? That's what TikTok is. And the platform, sorry, the pages that aren't looking like casinos, they're most likely pumping a load of money into it, or they were already big before they got onto the platform. So social media for me is a vice, but it's a necessary vice, unfortunately. But I'll never change my art for the sake of AI or an algorithm, or someone who wants to make money out of what I do.
Yeah, it's good to think about it as maybe like a tool. And there's something strange about, like, isn't there something strange about, like, making art or music to please an algorithm? Isn't that weird?
It's weird, and I feel for anyone who's doing that, because that will not last. Because I'll be doing this even if I didn't have a fan, you know? If I wasn't doing this, I'd probably be playing drums, making videos on YouTube for myself to watch back. Like, I watch all our stuff back multiple times because I enjoy it. I'm not making stuff because I want someone else to enjoy it. me enjoying what I create will allow someone else to enjoy it because they can see that I enjoy it. I'm never making it for someone else. And I genuinely feel sorry for people who go on TikTok, who go on Instagram and put on a front because that's what their labels are telling them to do, even though what they want to do is actually stay quiet and create good art in moments where they feel like they want to. What I see a lot of people talk about the fact that, you know, you have to hit the grind, you have to post every day, you know, why aren't you doing this? And there's a guy called Gary V on Instagram, which I think he has a lot of good things to say, but posting every day is not, it's not sustainable for a 50, 60 year career. It is not sustainable. And it's a shame that people feel like if they're not hitting the right amount of people, that their art is bad. Like we have 4,000 followers. There's sometimes we get 400 likes on a post. There's sometimes we get 120. There's sometimes we get 70. Deep down, it does bother me, but I'm learning to not care about that and care about the people who put the effort in and come to the shows. They're the main people. The people who buy the merch, constantly support what we do and allow us to go on the road. They're the people who matter. The people who are going to like it for a second and then go someone else and like it because all they want is the fast food and they don't actually care about the artist. They're the people I don't care about. People I care about are the ones who hit the follow, who then go to stream it, who then buy the merch and who then come to the shows. They're the reason bands exist, and those people I cherish, and I'd like to thank them all. Yeah, exactly. The kind of folks who will not wear the merch and grab a friend and be like, man, you got to come check out this band. Yeah, they don't like it because it's cool. They like it because they enjoy it. Like there's lots of bands which unfortunately sometimes get put into, oh, it's cool to like them, so I'm going to like them. But as soon as they don't do the cool thing because they want to write music that's true to them, those people go away. So for example, we've had it a little bit like this album, even though it's getting rave reviews, some fans of us would have wished we did like a just Deftones ripoff or wrote a Loathe album or wrote, you know, a Mood Ring album because they want to listen to the same thing over and over again. And to them, I'm like, okay, you can come back whenever you want, but I'm never writing music for you. I'm writing music for me. And a true Love Is Noise fan is someone who appreciates all the art we do, no matter what it is. I'm not saying you have to like it. I'm not saying you have to enjoy it, but all I hope is that you'll at least give it a chance. And if you don't like it, listen to our previous stuff and come to the shows. We'll still play the previous stuff and just enjoy it that way. I'm not expecting you to like everything we do. All I expect for you is to give it a chance. And, you know, you never know. The two new songs we've written after this record, they're actually closer to the EP that we did. Okay. So if you continue to stay with us, you'll get what you want. But I'm not doing it because you want it. I'm doing it because I want to do it, you know? Yeah. And it's not selfish. It's just... No. That's just the way I think the best art's created. And if you go back in interviews throughout the history of modern music, a lot of the artists that have created the best records have said the same thing. So I'm taking influence from them. Yeah, I mean, that's the role of an artist. It's not selfish. It's like the role of the artist is to kind of present whatever's inside them, whether it's good, bad, or ugly, nice, whatever. They're supposed to just do that with as little friction as possible. That's what I think anyway. Yeah. We're supposed to service the art. We're not supposed to service financial gain or notoriety or anything like that. When you create art, you should not think about how big you're going to get from it. You should think about how someone's going to feel when they listen to, how you're going to feel as in the artist, me, how I'm going to feel when I listen to it. If I love it, if I'm sitting in my car and going, hey, this album front to back is banging. If I like it, then it doesn't matter what anyone else's opinion is. It's cool that other people like it. But, you know, it's me in the end who has to like it because I have to play it. Yeah, so, you have to play it. Yeah. Well, speaking of the art, let's maybe think about the album a little bit, because I kind of have this theory that every really great heavy record is really like a game of Find the Tambourine. Yeah. And like, I feel like there's a few tracks on this record where you can hear some sometimes it's a little more up front, but sometimes it's kind of hidden into the background. You know, Killswitch Engage will do it, Beartooth will do it, and a lot of people probably don't even notice that there's kind of tambourine going on. But yeah. And what's funny is that I'm going to start using tambourine on stage. Nice. I'm gonna know Gallagher it just to give it something. Just because I was originally a drummer, so I think having something in my hand that's rhythmical will just add to the vibe. Yeah. And I know we've just released a new record, but the two new songs that we've done, are also, they have tambourines, but they're in spaces which add to the song. They're not the, you know, because there's tambourine VSTs where you can just MIDI it and it's through the whole chorus or whatever.
Yeah.
We use percussion as an instrument, not as a just an addition to a track to give it that magic. We do that, but it's also an instrument as well. It's part of the band. So we would have in the future, if we get to the point where we can afford a percussionist, we'd have one.
Okay, so. Very cool. Yeah, and some of the production, I would pick maybe I can't remember is it track 7, Anamoya, or track 9?
Yeah, Anamoya. Yeah.
Yeah, like the production.
No, I think it's 9.
Track 9.
Yeah.
That production's seems pretty dense to me. That's a really good example of where the mix or the arrangement is part of the art for sure.
Yeah, and that's. I'd like to thank Radiohead for that, basically. Radiohead and Mogwai for paving the way of showing that a mainly guitar-based focus, a guitar-focused band can then go and do kind of a semi-orchestral thing, using guitars. And that song we wanted to just, some people will say that when you listen to the record that it kind of drops down in tempo and in terms of aggression, but we did that on purpose because we wanted the first half to be that, the big songs and the big, the big choruses, and then we wanted the latter half to then be a reflection on what you just heard, and then by the end of the album, you're fully in the mode of reflecting about what you just listened to, because we've given those bigger songs the space to be big songs. Yeah. So yeah, and I do understand it with some people, their opinion, it's they wish they had one more, brighter, faster song near the end. But we did that. We thought at the moment when we did the track listing that, we'll have some of the softer songs at the end, because not many people do that, and it's a good way to reflect. And if people listen to this record before they go to bed, they're not going to be, if they're just about to fall asleep, they're not going to jump out of nowhere because we just hit them with a breakdown. So, yeah, it's just an album that is all about vibe, and Anamoya is the vibe, to be honest. Some of the parts could even be an Aphex Twin song. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. I kind of view those last 3 songs as they kind of all fit together a little bit, like a little trilogy. It feels like a soft landing to the record. You went through this pretty epic, thick, cloudy, hazy journey with some blast beats and stuff, and then you're kind of into the end to settle it down.
Yeah, exactly. And we did that on purpose. And I think some of those songs are for a heavy band to put out what those 3 songs are is not normal, and to I've been very positive about what we've done, and I don't lie, so I'll never say that oh yeah, I don't think we're that good, but if I think something's good, I'll say it. And I think those last 3 tracks, especially Anamoya, are 3 incredible kind of indie, Aphex Twin Mogwai vibe kind of tracks, and the fact that I've been able to pull it off, I think is a token to mainly Tom, who wrote most of this record, because it is very special. I've never been a part of something that's had this much acclaim so early. So bless and thank you to everyone, especially Tom, for creating an incredible album with me.
Yeah, that's exciting, eh? Yeah, it's a long time coming too, right? You got started pretty young.
Yeah, I was I've been doing music for a long time, and I was in a previous band where the album didn't come out. So the fact that this one it's crazy. It hasn't hit me yet. It won't hit me, I think, until I'm on stage in a week's time in London, celebrating it. But all I hope is that this album gets us to America and Canada. They're the main 2 places I want to. That's the last tick for me, because I am American as well. I'm my mum's born and bred in LA. I have an American passport and all that stuff. So basically, I want to play my second hometown, which will be LA. I hope this album takes us there. And I really do hope that people don't sleep on this record, and they put the time and effort in to appreciate what it is, and just give us the chance to be able to play with some of our favorite bands, and just get over to the places we want to play to. That's all I care about. Just building a world where bands are together and there's space for everyone, and we just want to be the opening band for some tours where we can just make everyone's night better and give the bands we're touring with a great, the bedrock for a great night and stuff like that. So yeah, any bands listening to this, take us on tour, especially US and Canada. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Yeah, come to Canada, East Coast of Canada specifically, please.
Sick. Is that Toronto area?
No, it'd be like St. John, New Brunswick. I'm in St. John, New Brunswick, or Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully, do bands come around there? Do they?
Yeah, not all the time, but a band like Protest the Hero used to come through all the time when they were coming up on the scene, and like sick. Alexa on Fire. Coheed and Cambria has been to Halifax, that kind of stuff.
Oh, sick. Well, I'd love to play with all three of those. So,
yeah, that'd be sweet.
Whatever. If any of you hear this, Love Is Noise, message us, email us, and we'll play.
Hook it up.
So it's all good.
maybe we'll end the chat. Just I'd like to ask you about your vocals if you got a couple more minutes here.
It's all good, yeah.
So like when I listen to like Take 1 Minute, you kind of like in the chorus kind of gives me like 90s R&B vibes, like the falsetto. But then also you've got like a pretty gnarly scream going on as well. So what's your approach there? Like how do you choose what moment to do what?
So mainly it's my range isn't I don't have a big range. So that's something I'm going to go and get vocal coaching to increase my range. So I don't actually have to use as much falsetto, and I can use falsetto for really high parts. But because when I'm hearing my own voice, I think my voice is pretty high, but I've realized it's low. So I really have to push to get those high notes. And then I realized on previous songs, I've pushed too hard where I can't really sing it live. So I have to make changes live. So what I wanted to do with this album was I wanted it to feel like, this is what I do live. And I use a lot of falsetto live. So that's why I had falsetto then. And with the scream, I was screaming wrong for ages. So I'd play a show and my voice would be gone. I'd be like hoarse. So what I did was I was like, okay, I'm just shouting here. Let's learn fry scream. So what I did was I learned what the fry was, which I could already do because I probably when I was younger just moaned all the time. So I just knew what that was, that sensation. And some people don't know what a head voice is, so they have to like find that. So and then you put them together, and the fry scream is pretty. It doesn't have to be loud; just use the mic. So my fry scream is pretty quiet compared to some others, but it doesn't matter because I've got a microphone. So I just learned how to do it. At my previous job in COVID, I just like ran away from work most of the time, and I was just trying to learn in a corner my fry scream. And people were like, Cam, what noise you making? And I was like, yeah, you don't need to know, but you'll know when we drop the album. You'll know what it is. Yeah. And I'm very blessed because screaming is actually the easiest thing. As long as my throat is dry. No, my throat is not dry. Yeah. My throat is wet and I've not had any dairy. My scream is really good, and I'm very lucky I think people will probably prefer, heavy fans will prefer my scream more than my singing. Or it's just me because I don't like hearing my voice sometimes. So I like hearing the scream.
The distortion.
So, and I think my scream's quite unique as well. So it doesn't hurt to do. Singing sometimes can hurt because I have to reach sometimes. But being a singer and a screamer with the amount I do is hard. We have an hour and 10 set in a week's time. Yeah, it's the longest we've ever done. So I'm just lucky that I can do what I can do, and I recommend vocal coaching. I had lessons when I was younger, so yeah, I can't wait to go back to a coach and learn even more.
Cool. Yeah, and the quiet screaming is kind of counterintuitive, but like I like the flavors you put across the whole record. And I really I enjoy the falsetto, the energy shift that happens when someone sings falsetto. So I like that you pick your moments when you do to use that on the record personally.
So thank you, man. And yeah, this album is tasty, I guess you could say, with all the things we've added in. And it'll take people time to appreciate it, but I really do think you've only got to listen to the album once in full. Don't go on your phone. Don't have any distractions. Listen, even if you have to take a week to listen to it so that you can listen to it without any distractions, do it, because you'll be hooked on Love Is Noise from the end of Ascending. I have no doubt. So people have just got to do that. If they do that, we're going to rise and we'll be completely fine. So I've got to hope that people keep their attention spans long enough to listen to a 50-minute debut album.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I've got faith in them. Just put her in, anyone listening, put her in headphones too, so you can hear all the nice reverbs going on. The mix is really nice. There's some cool stuff tucked into the background. And
and you'll hear something different every time you listen to it.
Yeah,
so
the layers.
So it's very hard to overplay, one, because it's so long. So just enjoy it. And yeah.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Cameron. I really appreciate you giving me some of your time today to talk about the new record, which is, I didn't even say the name yet, To Live in a Different Way. So I think that's a great title. And I noticed that the capitalization is not just the first letter's capital. Is that on purpose?
I think I've learned, this is the first record I've done as a manager of a band as well.
Okay.
So I think what's really funny is that some of the capitalization is, some of it's right, some of it's wrong, whatever. It doesn't matter. Just listen to it, because
well, it's fun.
The next record, the next record, it won't be as it won't. I don't know. Maybe it'll be even more crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. But at the time, I was into mad capitalization and shit. So it'll probably be easier in the future.
That's well, whatever. I think it's cool. And if you do come over to I should say, when you come over to North America, you should bring the band Sixth with you. Do you ever listen to Sixth? Get them to just somehow figure it out. Bring them with you.
I think Sixth would bring us, but
that's
hopefully
fine.
One day.
Good
awesome.
band. Oh yeah, super cool band. Awesome. Well, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate you chat with me. I can't wait. I'm going to spin a bunch of the record on my show when this airs, and I'll be telling my buddies to check it out tomorrow for sure.
Well, I appreciate it, man, and thank you for taking the time to have me on your show. And I hope you have a good rest of your day.
Yeah, you too. See ya.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you. Bye.